For over 10 years, TWICE has been captivating fans around the world, from small stages to sold-out stadiums. 9 girls, 9 stories growing together in the spotlight, transforming from nervous survival show trainees into one of K-pop's most enduring and influential groups. Today, we're going back in time to trace their journey, to see how TWICE became the group we know today. From their earliest days on 16, through their rise to national fame and onto the global stage. This is the story of Before we get into the video, a quick disclaimer. This is going to be a long one. There'll be pop-ups throughout with extra context, details, and side notes that didn't make it into the main script, because otherwise this would have been hours long. This video mainly focuses on TWICE's career, growth, and impact rather than the members personally. So if you're looking for in-depth member guides, there are plenty of amazing videos for that. But go watch them after you've watched this, because once you actually see everything TWICE has achieved, the sheer amount of work they've done, going back and learning about the members individually, somehow makes you appreciate them even more. That being said, while this video is mainly informational and follows a strict script, you'll probably catch some of my own thoughts and opinions popping up throughout the video too, because I still wanted this to feel personal. Long before TWICE's debut, JYP Entertainment stood firmly among the top pillars of K-pop, being one of the first companies, formed in 1997. The company had produced defining acts, groups that shaped generations and carried the label's identity across Asia. But by the early 2010s, those foundations began to shake. After the disbandment or decline of some of their largest groups, JYP Entertainment struggled with internal management issues and a noticeable drop in audience retention. The company that once held a dominant position was slowly losing its grip at the top spot. And JYP, who was once comfortably part of the Big Three, suddenly felt like it was falling behind. And this may have been because the girl group landscape was rapidly changing, as audiences were no longer satisfied with one-dimensional concepts or rigid images. There was a growing demand for strongly authentic groups that had a great sense of versatility, and groups with which they could genuinely connect with. JYP understood that success wouldn't come from simply replicating past formulas, but from building something that felt both strategic and genuinely human. It needed a group that could redefine what a girl group meant in a rapidly changing K-pop industry. And so, rather than quietly debuting trainees the traditional way, the company chose something riskier: a survival show. That show would be called 16. 16 first aired in May 2015, with 16 trainees competing to make it amongst the 7 spots of the final lineup. The concept of the show was that the trainees were split into 2 groups, major and minor. One represented the life they would be living if they debuted, and the others lived as trainees with many disadvantages compared to major. Despite the initial placings, ranks could change overnight, and positions could be stripped away just as quickly as they were earned. And unlike private evaluations behind closed doors, this time everything was public. At the center of this vision was Park Jin-young, who emphasized emotional resonance as much as technical ability. JYP was always known for creating groups that carried the trait of golden personalities, as it is one of the core qualities they search for in their trainees. He wasn't simply assembling a lineup of the best performers. He wanted a team that could deliver polished performances while still feeling approachable. So from the very beginning, 16 made one thing clear: talent alone wasn't enough. Contestants were evaluated on their skills, stage presence, personality, public engagement, and sometimes simply on whether they felt ready. Some trainees who seemed technically strong faltered under pressure, and others who lacked polish began to shine because of something harder to define: resonance. The ability to emotionally and artistically connect with people in a way that leaves an impact on them. And that word alone would quietly shape who TWICE is. The eliminations were brutal as friendships were tested. Confidence cracked in real time as trainees who had practiced together for years suddenly found themselves competing for limited spots. And every performance carried the unspoken question: will I still be here tomorrow? But what made 16 unpredictable was that it didn't follow a clean formula. Members who were eliminated were brought back, and the lineup went from 7 to 9. And when the name Twice was announced, it carried a promise that the group would touch people's hearts twice, once through the ears and once through the eyes. NAYEON is the face that introduced Twice to the world. Bright, charismatic, and endlessly energetic, NAYEON's presence has always been impossible to ignore. She is the group's eldest member, and as the strong center and one of their lead vocalists, she became known for her expressive performances, powerful stage presence, and instantly recognizable voice. Whether opening a song or leading a performance, NAYEON naturally draws attention, being able to bridge Twice's past and presence by embodying their bright beginnings and vibrant spirit that defined Twice's early years while continuing to evolve alongside the group. However, she doesn't overpower the group and blends effortlessly within. JEONGYEON exists in contrast. If NAYEON was the voice that captivates you first, as the other lead vocalist, JEONGYEON's voice is the one that grounds you after the first impression fades. Her tone adds depth and richness that offsets Twice's lighter textures. She's calm, grounded, and quietly dependable, as she has always been one of Twice's emotional anchors. Behind her cool exterior is a member known for her warmth, honesty, and care for the people around her. And over the years, JEONGYEON's resilience and sincerity have made her one of the most beloved members among fans. Every group has their own rhythm, and in Twice, that rhythm is MOMO. When it comes to performance, few idols command attention like MOMO. Widely recognized as one of K-pop's best dancers, her precision, power, and fluidity undoubtedly makes her Twice's main dancer. She transforms their choreography into one of the group's defining trademarks. But beyond the stage, MOMO's personality and relentless work ethic reveal someone deeply passionate about performing. Her energy has become essential to Twice's identity and would have been deeply missed if she weren't brought back into the lineup. Sana's charm is legendary, as she's effortlessly lovable and naturally charismatic. Sana became one of Twice's reasons for their breakout, thanks to her expressive personality and ability to captivate audiences instantly. Yet behind the sweetness is an incredibly intelligent performer with remarkable versatility, a duality that not many idols possess. Whether on stage, in interviews, in Twice's content, or during emotional moments with fans, Sana has a way of making people fall in love and feel connected to her. JIHYO was born to be on stage, as she trained for over a decade before debuting in Twice. That experience has shaped her into one of K-pop's most respected leaders. She's undoubtedly Twice's main vocalist with her powerful and outstanding vocals, commanding performances and unwavering professionalism that defines her presence alongside her passion. As Twice's leader, JIHYO became the group's emotional and musical backbone, guiding them through every era of their career. And beyond performing, JIHYO has become one of Twice's most important creative contributors, having participated in writing and composing multiple tracks across the group's discography. MINA is both elegant and understated, bringing a unique grace to Twice. Her background in ballet can be seen in everything she does, the way she moves and dances, which are both controlled, fluid, and refined. And on stage, she balances sophistication with energy, creating a presence that feels both delicate and captivating. While she is much quieter than some of the members, MINA's calm demeanor and emotional subtlety have become some of her greatest qualities. And throughout Twice's discography, MINA frequently became the member entrusted with some of the most emotionally important moments in their songs. Her soft and airy tone naturally transitions tracks into their final choruses, whether it's gentle and sentimental or dramatic. DAHYUN is Twice's spark. She's unpredictable, witty, and endlessly entertaining. Known for her variety skills and quick humor, she became one of the group's strongest personalities almost immediately after debut. However, offstage, DAHYUN is more reserved than her public image suggests. Much of her energetic personality comes from her professionalism and understanding of entertainment. But beyond the comedy is a versatile performer and writer, capable of balancing rap, vocals, and stage presence with ease. DAHYUN's ability to brighten any atmosphere made her an irreplaceable part of Twice's chemistry. CHAEYOUNG has always stood out within Twice, as she is all creative, artistic, and unapologetically individualistic. As the group's main rapper, she brought confidence and an edge to their music, especially alongside her beautiful vocals, but her artistry extends far beyond performance. Through songwriting, visual art, and her personal style, Chaeyoung represents TWICE's more experimental and expressive side as someone who is constantly searching for new ways to grow creatively. And then there's Tzuyu. Tzuyu first gained attention for her visuals, which is one of the reasons she was added to the group after its finalization due to audience popular demand. But over time, she has proved that she is much more than that. She's quiet yet determined, and has developed steadily into a confident performer with strong stage presence, captivating performance, and emotional maturity. And as TWICE's youngest member, Tzuyu has grown up in the public eye, and that journey from a shy rookie to a poised artist became one of the most compelling evolutions within the group. TWICE possesses one of the largest and most carefully documented discographies in K-pop history, with them being the highest-selling K-pop girl group. Across their Korean, Japanese, and English releases, the group has built a catalog that feels like a timeline that not only reflects the evolution of K-pop itself, but also the members' personal growth as artists, writers, and performers. Because of this, fans often organize TWICE's career into distinct eras, each with its own sound and visual identity. Early TWICE was defined by bright, addictive, cheerful pop. This era established them as one of K-pop's defining girl groups, and their releases became defining songs of third-generation K-pop as a whole. These songs were often emotionally straightforward, mainly centered around youthful crushes and first love. Because of that early success, many non-fans still reduce TWICE to cute and bubbly. However, that perception ignores how dramatically their music has evolved. While TWICE mastered bright pop better than almost any group of their generation, their catalog expands into many other genres. Around 2019, TWICE entered what many fans consider their maturity transition era. This was the bridge between old TWICE and the group they would eventually become. In this era, while the group retained their melodic identity, they began experimenting heavily with new genres and concepts. This period is especially important because it marks the start of the members becoming increasingly involved in the music itself. Earlier in their career, member participation was limited mostly to occasional lyric contributions. However, from 2019 onward, member-written tracks became common and eventually expected by fans. Their music felt dramatically different from early TWICE, yet still unmistakably them. This is why many fans consider this their strongest artistic period. The group was evolving naturally as they grew older, and they became more experienced. This is the era where TWICE has fully settled into their identity as veteran artists and sounds confident and comfortable in themselves. They are no longer searching for an answer to the question, who are TWICE now? As they've already found it. Their music can comfortably sit beside older TWICE songs while still sounding mature and extremely versatile. But what separates this era from previous ones is perspective. Early TWICE songs often looked forward to things like first love, excitement, or dreams. TWICE nowadays often looks both forward and backwards simultaneously. A lot of their music is filled with reflections on their journey. There's a sense of self-awareness that simply wasn't possible when they were younger artists. Like Ooh Ah was released on October 20th, 2015. Alongside their debut mini-album, The Story Goes On. TWICE entered an industry already crowded with established names and rising competitors. There was no guarantee they would stand out. No promise that the audience who had watched 16 would stay. But from the very beginning, something felt different. Unlike the instant success many associate with TWICE today, Like Ooh Ah didn't explode overnight. In fact, it performed worse than the company had originally hoped for, as it had been greatly overlooked at first. But it began to grow, and the song steadily climbed the charts, peaking at number 10 just 3 months after its release. By the end of 2015, TWICE hadn't achieved anything unbelievable, but they had done something just as important. They had made people pay attention. And soon, attention would turn into something much bigger. By April 2016, TWICE came back with their first ever comeback, Cheer Up. which acted as the lead single of their second EP, Page 2. This wasn't just a success. It was one of the most dominant performances of the decade and became a national sensation. Cheer Up debuted at #1 across multiple Korean charts, achieving a perfect all-kill, shattering the expectations of the company. Additionally, the track secured double-digit music show wins and marked TWICE's first-ever win on a music show, an important milestone that effectively validated the group's breakthrough. But the real turning point came culturally. The Sha 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 line that was delivered by Sana became a nationwide viral moment, pushing the song beyond the typical K-pop audience and into mainstream Korean pop culture. At that point, TWICE weren't just popular, they were inescapable. They were so inescapable that it wasn't just domestic waters it was known in. Across the pond, it also became a viral sensation. Cheer Up went on to win Song of the Year at major award shows, including the Melon Music Awards and Mnet Asian Music Awards, an extremely rare achievement for a group less than a year into their career. Later that same year, TWICE released TT, alongside their third EP, TWICE Coaster, Lane 1. If Cheer Up was the song that established their presence, TT was the song that solidified their dominance. The track once again topped Korean charts and maintained the #1 position for 4 consecutive weeks, proving that their success wasn't a one-off. And its music video went on to surpass 200 million views, becoming the first female K-pop act to reach that milestone. With all this success, the title The Nation's Girl Group began to follow them, which was previously held by Girls' Generation, the top girl group of the previous generation. After Cheer Up and TT, the question wasn't whether TWICE was successful. Instead, it was whether they could sustain their success, because in K-pop, momentum is fragile. Many groups experience a rise in popularity, but with that rise comes the inevitable fall. However, from then on out, every single song TWICE released was hit after hit, and they showed absolutely no sign of stopping. TWICE opened 2017 with Knock Knock, alongside a repackaged album named TWICE Coaster, Lane 2. By the end of February, the EP sold over 266,000 copies, with its lead single peaking at #5 on the Circle digital chart. A few months later, they returned with Signal. This comeback was slightly different from all their previous ones. Produced by JYP himself, Signal marked a slight shift in TWICE's sound. The members were initially worried, as it was different from all of their title tracks up until that point. But one member wasn't worried, and that member was none other than MINA Sana. The track went on to debut at the top of the Circle digital chart on the first week of release for 2 consecutive weeks. The album with the same name entered the Billboard World Albums chart at #3 and set a record for the highest first-day album sales for a Korean girl group album, which was previously held by TWICE's own release. In October, they released their first full album, TWICEtagram, named after their group's Instagram handle. With Likey acting as the lead single, it debuted at #1 on the Circle digital chart. The song talks about the struggles of trying to impress others on social media while grappling with insecurities about their appearance, which at the time strayed away from their concept. The album debuted atop both Billboard's World Albums and World Digital Song Sales, which was the group's first #1, making TWICE the first female K-pop act to simultaneously lead on both charts. In 2018, TWICE would release one of their most beloved songs, known as What Is Love. Which acted as the lead single of their EP of the same name. The EP would go on to sell over 335,000 copies in the first month, making TWICE the first female artist and the 5th act to earn a platinum certification by the Korea Music Content Association. The song would go on to win Song of the Year at the Mnet Asian Awards, establishing TWICE as the first group to win Song of the Year at MAMA 3 years in a row, with Cheer Up in 2016, Signal in 2017, and What Is Love the following year, with the only other group doing so being BTS in the following years. But while 2018 would be a very successful year for TWICE, due to their dominance over the industry, behind the scenes, it was becoming increasingly difficult to sustain because of the many back-to-back releases. Between Korean and Japanese activities, TWICE maintained an almost non-stop schedule, which was unheard of even for the usual formula of idol groups. By the end of the year, TWICE would release 4 Korean mini-albums and 1 Japanese one, while also continuing tours, promotions, and public appearances. By 2017, TWICE had already secured Korea, and everyone was infatuated with them. The next step was expansion. And what better place than Japan? Home to a third of their members and the second largest music market in the world. For most K-pop groups and artists in general, entering Japan is difficult, and succeeding there consistently is harder in general because, unlike international popularity, Japan uniquely relies on physical sales. And by the mid-2010s, there was another challenge. The earlier waves of Korean entertainment and culture in Japan had slowed significantly due to political tensions between South Korea and Japan throughout the early 2010s. In June 2017, TWICE officially debuted in Japan with the compilation album #TWICE. Instead of introducing completely new material, it was an album of their Korean hits repackaged in Japanese, as their music was already known in Japan, especially TT and the pose that came with it. The album performed strongly on Oricon, debuting at number 2, achieved high sales, and established TWICE as one of the fastest-rising Korean acts in Japan, as their debut Japanese album was reported to have the highest first-week album sales by a Korean artist in Japan in 2 years. But TWICE's success in Japan wasn't just about their music. It was also because of the members themselves, more specifically, the Japanese members. TWICE were the first major K-pop group to debut with more than one Japanese member. At the time, this was unusual. Most K-pop groups before them either had one Japanese member or none at all. The presence of the Japanese line made the group feel more accessible and culturally familiar to Japanese audiences, while still maintaining their Korean identity. And that distinction mattered. Japanese media and analysts frequently pointed to TWICE as one of the acts that helped reignite interest in Korean entertainment among younger Japanese audiences. And in many ways, TWICE became one of the defining acts of the third Hallyu wave in Japan. And while they weren't obviously directly solving political tension, their popularity would influence the industry itself. After TWICE's rise, the number of Japanese trainees and Japanese members in K-pop groups increased dramatically, changing how companies approached group construction. Following their debut, TWICE accelerated their Japanese activities rapidly, with them releasing their first Japanese single, One More Time, debuting at number 1 on the Japanese Hot 100 and became the fastest-selling release of any South Korean girl group in Japan. Both #TWICE and One More Time earned platinum certifications from the Recording Industry Association of Japan, making them the first Korean girl group to earn a platinum certification in Japan for both a single and an album in the same year. They then went on to win Album of the Year and Song of the Year at the 32nd Japan Gold Disc Awards. TWICE had their first Japanese comeback in January the following year, releasing Candy Pop. An extremely cute concept with a music video partly animated in anime. Candy Pop alone sold over 300,000 copies in its first week and topped the Japan Hot 100 chart. And to this day, it is the most viewed Japanese song released by a K-pop girl group, with 189 million views. In September, TWICE would release BDZ alongside their first Japanese studio album with the same name. BDZ debuted at number 1 on the daily ranking of the Oricon Albums chart, selling over 80,000 copies, setting a record for the highest first-day sales of albums released by a Korean girl group in Japan. TWICE's Japanese discography is another major reason TWICE is respected musically. Rather than treating Japan as simply a secondary market, the group built an entirely distinct musical identity there. And if you were to eliminate their Korean discography, you would be able to witness their growth from their Japanese side alone. By 2019, TWICE had fully transitioned to one of Japan's top-selling artists, and became the first K-pop girl group to hold a Japanese dome tour. The tour garnered a total audience of 220,000 during 5 shows in Osaka, Tokyo, and Nagoya, with tickets selling out within 1 minute. And this would only set a standard for the many Japanese releases to follow throughout their career. TWICE opened 2019 with Fancy. And immediately, it was obvious something had changed. Visually, the group shifted away from their signature bright and youthful aesthetic that defined their earlier years and moved towards a more sleek and mature presentation, leaning into electro-pop. Fancy was a K-pop sensation, with many fans viewing it as the perfect embodiment of what modern K-pop represents. It was such a beloved song that the music video garnered over 42.1 million views in a single day. And its accompanying album, Fancy You, kickstarted their first world tour, TWICE Lights, officially introducing them to Western audiences. While this year was the start of something new for TWICE and overall an incredibly successful year, 2019 was one of the most difficult periods for the group internally. Many of the members were experiencing mental and physical health challenges, with the most prominent one being MINA. So much so that, on July 11, 2019, JYP Entertainment announced MINA's hiatus, meaning she would sit out the remainder of the TWICE Lights World Tour due to her extreme anxiety and insecurity regarding onstage performances. This was truly a heartbreaking statement for the fans, but for MINA's health, it was for the best, and fans knew this. Later that year, TWICE released Feel Special.
You make me feel special. 세상이 아무리 날 주저앉혀도 그곳 말들이 날 찔러도 네가 있어 난 뜻이 없어. That's what you do.
A song that is both special to TWICE and once. If Fancy was a stylistic shift, Feel Special was definitely an emotional one. The song directly addresses themes of self-worth, vulnerability, and support, with lyrics written by JYP himself, inspired by the members' bond and the hardships they faced together, particularly during a time when Sana was going through a difficult period. Additionally, Feel Special was the first comeback during MINA's hiatus. Many of the fans were unsure if she was to participate in the comeback, as many idols who have gone on hiatus haven't done so. But then, the individual teaser trailers for Feel Special dropped. And there was MINA's. Fans were shocked as it was the first time many had seen her publicly since the hiatus announcement. Although her participation in promotions remained limited, MINA ultimately took part in the Feel Special comeback and appeared in the music video, making the release even more emotionally significant for both the group and the fandom. The song scored the group a #1 entry on the Billboard World Digital Song Sales chart, increasing TWICE's popularity across North America. The accompanying mini-album with the same name sold over 151,000 copies in the first week, allowing TWICE to break their own first-week album sales. The album also featured a song written by all the girls named 2129 to show gratitude for once for sticking by their side throughout everything. It was truly one of their most heartfelt eras. In October 2019, JYP Entertainment announced that the group had added 2 stops to their world tour at the Tokyo Dome. The additional concerts were initially scheduled to be held in early March 2020, with tickets being sold out within 3 minutes. However, due to concerns regarding the pandemic, the Tokyo concerts were postponed. And it didn't stop there, because the pandemic didn't just delay schedules, it removed one of K-pop's core pillars: live performances. This meant that tours were canceled, stages were empty, and there was no direct audience engagement. And for artists like TWICE, whose identity was built on connection and performance, this was a heartbreaking disruption. Despite global uncertainty, TWICE returned in June 2020 with More and More. A song originally intended for the artist Zara Larsson. This song continued their post-Fancy trajectory, containing tropical house influences and more mature styling. The accompanying EP marked their first entry on the Billboard 200 at number 200, signaling growing Western visibility. This was later reinforced when TWICE entered the Billboard Artist 100 for the first time, debuting at number 96. This shows that while many acts saw a decline in momentum during this period, TWICE's metrics continued to increase. Later that year, TWICE released their second full album, Eyes Wide Open, featuring the title track, I Can't Stop Me. Which pushed further into retro synth influences and cohesive storytelling. It debuted at number 72 on the Billboard 200, their highest ranking at the time, making them one of the few K-pop girl groups to enter the top 100, which is a significant increase from just 4 months prior. At the year-end performances, during their MAMA 2020 performance, TWICE unexpectedly performed an unreleased track called Cry For Me. And at the time, it was the furthest song from their core concept, as it showed a noticeably darker and more dramatic side of TWICE than audiences were used to. The track was originally going to be scrapped by the company if it hadn't been for the immense attention and success it garnered. So on December 28, it was finally released as a digital single. And despite receiving no traditional physical album promotion initially, Cry For Me still achieved strong international success across streaming and digital platforms, debuting atop the Billboard World Digital Song Sales chart and being able to perform on The Kelly Clarkson Show for the first time, further reflecting TWICE's growing global audience. Over the expanse of their career, TWICE had already entered the global stage, with their indirect success in album sales, Billboard entries, and their growing global fanbase. But now, after conquering Asian markets, TWICE was ready to compete in the West. They opened 2021 with Alcohol Free as the title track of Taste of Love. Which was a softer and more relaxed image compared to the retro intensity of I Can't Stop Me and the darker atmosphere of Cry For Me, as it was a bossa nova track with Latin-inspired rhythms and smooth summer pop. The production style and overall presentation aligned more closely with broader global pop trends while still maintaining TWICE's recognizable identity. After its release, the music video garnered over 20 million views in just 24 hours. And the EP debuted at number 6 on the Billboard 200, making TWICE the first female Korean act to chart an EP within the top 10 of the Billboard 200. This was an unprecedented jump since the last two comebacks, which were only a year ago. By October 2021, TWICE released their long-awaited US debut. Their first full English single, The Feels. And it greatly embodied TWICE's identity while catering to Western audiences. It marked their first appearance in the Billboard Hot 100 at number 83, making TWICE one of the few K-pop girl groups to achieve this milestone. And to promote the song, the group performed on many American talk shows. Following The Feels, TWICE released their third Korean full album, Formula of Love, featuring the title track Scientist. This album was a major success, peaking at number 3 on the Billboard 200 and being one of the highest-rated K-pop albums. But while this album was commercially significant, what made it especially important was how much it expanded TWICE creatively. It explored many genres, including disco, city pop, trap, etc. And for the first time, it included multiple English tracks, further aligning with Western audiences. This wasn't a departure from their identity, but it showed they were adapting. Additionally, for the first time in their career, the album included official unit songs, with the members divided into groups of 3, allowing the members to explore new styles and showcase a new side of themselves. Because by this point, TWICE had already proven themselves countless times, so why not one more? Another successful year earned them Girl Group of the Year at MAMA, making them the only female act to achieve this award 4 times, with 2016, 2018, 2019, and 2021. Additionally, they are the K-pop girl group with the most awarded day songs ever, with 18, placing them 3rd overall behind BTS and EXO. And for the first time since 2019, TWICE returned to touring, with Formula of Love acting as the spearhead for their 4th world tour. This tour made TWICE the first female K-pop act to hold 2 separate arena tours, bringing out an audience of approximately 100,000 people. They were so successful that they announced an encore at the Bank of California Stadium, making them the first female K-pop group to headline a stadium concert in the United States. And due to high ticket demand with tickets selling out in minutes, they held a second performance. In April, they held their Tokyo Dome concert for 2 days, but as the tickets were sold out at the same time as the opening sale, they added an extra performance. With 3 sold-out dates at the Tokyo Dome, TWICE became the first K-pop female act to perform 3 consecutive nights at the stadium. But while Formula of Love had become one of the group's most successful albums, and their 4th world tour was finally bringing them back in front of fans after nearly 2 years of pandemic restrictions, one member was battling a difficult challenge. JEONGYEON's hiatus was not just a single moment, it was a series of difficulties that unfolded over time. The first signs appeared during the More and More era back in 2020. Fans noticed that she looked uncomfortable during some of the performances. Although she continued promoting the comeback, it was later revealed that she had undergone surgery for a herniated disc in her neck, forcing her to suspend activities so she could recover. After several months, she returned for the MV of I Can't Stop Me. But while her physical condition had improved, another struggle remained largely invisible. In October 2020, JYP Entertainment announced that JEONGYEON would once again suspend activities due to anxiety, explaining that medical professionals had advised her to take sufficient time to recover. Throughout 2021, JEONGYEON made gradual returns, participating in the music videos for Alcohol Free, The Feels, and Scientist, but her health continued to fluctuate. But by August of that year, JYP announced that she would once again pause activities due to panic and psychological anxiety, having to prioritize her health above promotions. For both TWICE and the fans, the announcements were heartbreaking. Not because JEONGYEON was leaving TWICE, but because nobody knew when or if she would ever feel ready to return fully. When TWICE embarked on their 4th world tour, JEONGYEON initially missed several concerts. It was another reminder that even one of the world's biggest girl groups wasn't immune to the pressures of the industry. Luckily, in February 2022, JEONGYEON officially returned to the group as they began the North American leg of the tour. Her appearance was met with overwhelming cheers, not because fans expected perfection, but because they were simply happy to see her smiling again. JEONGYEON's story not only represents her struggles and journey to overcome them, but also something much larger. It reflects the broader shift within K-pop itself. For years, conversations around idol health, particularly mental health, were often kept behind closed doors. Her hiatus, alongside MINA's before her, became a part of a growing change in the industry. One where companies acknowledge that psychological well-being is just as important as physical health. It also reminds fans that behind every record, every sold-out tour, and every achievement, idols are only human. By 2022, TWICE had done everything a K-pop group is supposed to do. Domestic dominance, international expansion, and touring success. But that's exactly when most groups end. In K-pop, the 7-year curse is a widely recognized phenomenon in fandom spaces that refers to the common 7-year contract length for idol groups. Once a group reaches this end, they come across a crucial crossroads where groups either disband, members leave, or they successfully renew their contracts and continue their journey. Especially given the fast pace of the K-pop industry, idols have grown older. New groups are debuting every year, each cycle bringing a fresh wave of trainees who are younger, sharper, and packaged for an industry that rarely slows down long enough to look back. In that kind of environment, even the most successful groups can start to feel like they're being quietly phased into legacy. So, approaching their 7th anniversary, TWICE weren't just deciding on their contracts. They were also deciding on their future as individuals. As leader JIHYO later described, the discussions weren't as simple as they were about their lives, their careers, and what came next. Then, in July 2022, TWICE did something almost unprecedented. All 9 members renewed their contracts with JYP Entertainment. Fans were both emotional and ecstatic because even among top-tier groups, full group renewals are rare. But once again, TWICE beat the odds. With morale high and a renewed sense of direction, they returned soon after with Talk That Talk.
Tell me what you want, tell me what you need. A to Z the mud above, 시작은 이렇게 해. I love it, 들려줘. No, 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 yeah.
Accompanied by their 11th mini-album Between 1 and 2, a project that felt both intimate and celebratory. reflecting on their bond with each other, and with once as they stepped into a new chapter beyond the 7-year curse. Talk That Talk was a bubbly track with Y2K aesthetics, once again showcasing their versatility. The EP reached number 3 on the Billboard 200, making it 16 times higher than their first entry just 2 years ago. The EP was also their first time selling 1 million copies, and the group surpassed 14 million cumulative album sales by the end of the year. Kicking off 2023 on a strong note, TWICE released their second English single, Moonlight Sunrise,
Moonlight, sunrise, baby, come be my starlight. Moonlight, sunrise, baby, just to make you smile.
which went on to peak at number 84 on the Billboard Hot 100, further solidifying their presence in the Western market. The track not only extended their international momentum, but also marked another step in their evolving global identity as a group. Their efforts were soon recognized on a larger stage when they received the Billboard Women in Music Award for Breakthrough Artist. TWICE attended the ceremony in person, delivering a performance of Moonlight Sunrise. Building on that momentum, TWICE followed Moonlight Sunrise and their Billboard recognition with the release of their 12th mini-album, Ready to Be with Set Me Free.
모든 걸 걸어 risk it all. 사랑 날 걸어 fade out. Gonna set me free. 네 맘 끝까지 갈 테니 넌 그냥 날 안으면 돼. Come in, set me free.
Serving as the lead single alongside the pre-release. The album debuted at number 2 on the Billboard 200, marking their highest entry on the chart at the time, and it also achieved record-breaking first-week sales for a K-pop girl group in the US market, surpassing over 1.7 million pre-orders, which was a major increase from their last album only a few months prior. This album would be the spearhead for their 5th world tour, also titled Ready to Be. They expanded their scale to stadium venues across North America, Asia, and beyond. The tour marked a significant turning point in their career, as it fully transitioned them into stadium-level global performers, including becoming the first girl group to perform and sell out SoFi Stadium and MetLife Stadium, both with a capacity of 50,000. TWICE opened 2024 with another English pre-release, I Got You.
No matter what, you got me, I got you. And I wouldn't want it any other way.
A sentimental song depicting the group's friendship and love with a message of overcoming difficult times. It peaked at number 38 on the Billboard Global 200. The track was later followed by their 13th mini-album, With Youth, with One Spark acting as the title track.
'Cause my heart is burning, burning, burning. So that it's hurting, hurting, hurting. 눈부시게 아름답고 아프다 해도 일상없고 damn.
At this point in their career, the expectations were different. They were no longer being measured against rookies. Just one question: can they still perform at the highest level this far into their career? The answer was simple. With Youth debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200, marking TWICE's first time topping the chart, making them one of the few K-pop girl groups in history to achieve this feat. The album also recorded strong global sales and streaming performance, continuing their upward trajectory. Following their 2023 expansion, TWICE continued their Ready to Be World Tour into 2024, still holding their performances at major stadium venues across multiple regions. With the tour concluding at Nissan Stadium, TWICE is the first foreign female artist to headline a concert there. The tour was their largest yet, with 51 shows in 27 cities across 5 continents and 1.5 million attendees in total. On October 20, TWICE held a fan meeting titled Home Ground to commemorate the 9th anniversary of their debut. During the event, they performed their unreleased track Sweetest Obsession and announced their 14th EP, Strategy, which would be released on December 6. Just 5 days later, TWICE featured on Megan Thee Stallion's Mamushi. At the time, Mamushi had already become one of Megan's most viral songs, as it peaked at number 36 on the Billboard Hot 100 and was heavily circulating on TikTok. So when TWICE appeared on the remix, the collaboration immediately drew attention because it represented another major crossover between K-pop and mainstream Western music spaces. The remix directly referenced many of TWICE's achievements, allowing them to recognize their actual position in the global market. In turn, Megan Thee Stallion featured on Strategy. the lead single of their 14th mini-album. The EP debuted at number 4 on the Billboard 200, and TWICE became the first K-pop girl group ever to chart 6 albums in the Billboard 200 Top 10. TWICE has always and will always be 9 members, one identity. And for years, that identity was so strong that individual activities often came second to the group itself. Even fans often described them as a team that moved together rather than 9 separate celebrities. But as the years went on, the members naturally began carving out their own spaces. Through many different projects, the members were able to showcase different sides of themselves, whether it was vocals, dance, songwriting, or artistic direction. So it was only natural that after renewing their contracts and entering a new phase of their career, there would be a shift in their artistry, starting off with individual music releases. In 2022, NAYEON became the first TWICE member to officially debut as a soloist, with the self-titled mini-album, NAYEON, with Pop acting as the leading single. It was the perfect first solo debut for the group, as it was bright, energetic, and unapologetically fun, in a time when K-pop was riding the wave of the Y2K aesthetic. The track went on to become one of the defining K-pop songs of 2022 and immediately proved why NAYEON had always been viewed as TWICE's center. The album was a bigger success than the company had expected, with it debuting at number 7 on the Billboard 200, becoming the highest charting album by a Korean soloist at the time and making her the first K-pop soloist to ever enter the chart's top 10, resulting in NAYEON being the most streamed female K-pop artist in 2022, winning Best Female Artist at MOMO that year. Her success proved that the TWICE members could stand on their own individually, while still strengthening the group as a whole. 2 years later, in 2024, she returned with Na and the title track, ABCD. Showing a much more mature and confident image inspired by early 2000s pop divas. Compared to the bubbly energy of pop, ABCD leaned into charisma and attitude. The album once again debuted at number 7 on the Billboard 200, making NAYEON the first female K-pop soloist to achieve 2 top 10 Billboard 200 albums. JIHYO later followed NAYEON's first release with her solo debut, Zone. Its title track, Killing Me Good, mixed R&B and dance pop influences with a darker, more mature style that highlighted JIHYO's power as both a vocalist and performer. The EP debuted at number 14 on the Billboard 200 and number 1 on the Circle album chart, with over 500,000 copies sold in the first week. It broke the record for the highest initial sales volume for an extended play released by a K-pop female soloist in Hallyu chart history. The project also showcased her involvement creatively, with songwriting credits across the album. TZUYU was the third member to debut solo, with Runaway, and the accompanying mini-album About You. The release perhaps surprised fans the most out of the solos at the time, because of how she is relatively quiet compared to other members. The title track leaned into a softer and more elegant style that suited her image perfectly, while finally giving her space to showcase her own artistic identity outside the group. Additionally, the release became a major success internationally, debuting at number 19 on the Billboard 200 and making TZUYU the first Taiwanese artist to enter the chart's top 20. The final member to go solo as of the release of this video is CHAEYOUNG. In 2025, she released Lil Fantasy Volume 1, which stood out as the most personal and experimental project among TWICE members. Its lead single, Shoot, introduced a softer, more introspective pop sound layered with alternative and indie influences, reflecting her artistic interests outside of idol pop conventions. Overall, the album was ranked 86th in Rolling Stone's 100 Best Albums of 2025 and appeared at number 7 in Billboard's staff list of the 25 Best K-pop Albums of 2025, with Billboard Korea saying that hit not only showcased her songwriting and composing across the entire record, but also solidified her stature as a true artist. Beyond solo work, TWICE also expanded through subunits. In 2023, MINA, Sana, and MOMO debuted as MISAMO, TWICE's first and only official subunit, and the first Japanese subunit created under JYP Entertainment. Their debut mini-album, masterpiece, and title track, Do Not Touch, completely shifted away from TWICE's brighter image into something far more elegant and sensual, with the concept of the album being inspired by classical art and gallery imagery. The subunit was hugely successful in Japan, with Masterpiece debuting at number 1 on the weekly Oricon Albums chart and topping the Billboard Japan Hot Albums chart. Their follow-up release, Haute Couture, fully established who they were artistically. Released the following year, the album's concept was deeply rooted in high fashion aesthetics. The album's title track, Identity,
I know what I want, who I am, my identity. 나래까지 날 shining now, my identity. 가질 때 like it, 그러면 this is me.
emphasizes the importance of being true to oneself and embracing one's unique qualities. Alongside it, New Look, their cover of a classic Japanese song, pays homage to one of Japan's most influential female artists, while simultaneously symbolizing Misamo's step into a new era. Additionally, for the first time, the trio released solo songs showcasing completely different styles and strengths within the unit. But the biggest achievement of the era came through the accompanying Japan Dome tour. The tour garnered roughly 250,000 attendees across 6 shows and made Misamo the fastest female act to hold a concert at Tokyo Dome after debuting. Finally, at the start of 2026, Misamo released their first full album, Play, marking the final chapter of their trilogy and artistic triptych, with each release showcasing a different form of art. The lead single, Confetti, leaned into a theatrical concept and incorporated Charleston influences. The album topped the Billboard Japan Hot Albums chart. Honestly, I want to make a separate video covering Misamo because I believe they deserve a video of their own. Their journey, concept, and their whole trilogy is genuinely one of the most interesting things to come out of TWICE's later career. So if you want that, please comment down below. Another aspect of TWICE's individual growth came through other forms of entertainment outside of music. Throughout their career, the members have become known for their strong variety presence. And throughout the later years of their career, many of the members have hosted their own shows, showcasing their individual strengths. The members have also established themselves individually through fashion, with many of the members becoming ambassadors and partners for luxury brands, having appearances at global fashion events, magazine covers, and fashion runways. Additionally, some members began exploring acting careers, with DAHYUN being the first member to officially break into acting and receive rewards such as Best New Actress at the Seoul Global Movie Awards. 2025 marked TWICE's 10th year as a group, and they had already outlived most expectations placed on K-pop girl groups. They had survived the industry's constant cycle of reinvention and established themselves as one of the defining acts of their generation. Yet they somehow weren't slowing down. While many acts at this stage would slow down, focus on nostalgia, or quietly fade away, TWICE continued growing in visibility and success. If anything, they felt bigger than ever. New milestones and records kept appearing. The year began with one of the most unexpected collaborations of their career. TWICE collaborated with Coldplay for a special version of their song, We Pray. The collab was first performed live during Coldplay's Music of the Spheres concerts in Seoul, where TWICE appeared as special guests for all 6 stadium shows. The release drew significant international attention, not just for the collaboration itself, but also because it symbolized how TWICE had expanded globally, sharing a stage with one of the largest touring acts in the world. Around the same period, TWICE also became involved with the breakout animated phenomenon K-pop Demon Hunters. They were actively referenced throughout the film, and their music became heavily associated with the film's success, with a solo version of Strategy having a resurgence in popularity after being used in the soundtrack, peaking at number 48 on the Billboard Global 200, number 51 on the Hot 100, and certifying platinum by the Recording Industry Association of America. Additionally, members JEONGYEON, JIHYO, and CHAEYOUNG sang the TWICE version of the song Takedown, which was used in the end credits, and later became the lead single of the film's soundtrack album. TWICE's involvement in K-pop Demon Hunters also carried a deeper cultural significance beyond music. Other inclusion naturally brought attention from K-pop fans. The film itself was heavily centered around introducing Korean culture and entertainment to the wider Western audiences. So, using TWICE, one of the most recognizable and influential Korean groups, subtly reinforced the idea that they are an actual part of modern Korean culture. Their presence symbolized how deeply K-pop, and TWICE specifically, had become embedded in Korea's global identity. This was later reinforced when TWICE received the Prime Minister's commendation at the Korean Popular Culture and Arts Awards, one of the country's highest honors in entertainment, recognizing their contributions to Korean culture and the global spread of K-pop. During the summer, TWICE released their fourth Korean full-length album, This Is For, along with their lead single of the same name. The album quickly topped South Korea's Circle album chart and debuted at number 6 on the Billboard 200, becoming their longest charting and most significant album to date. This made TWICE the first K-pop girl group to chart 7 different albums in the top 10 of the Billboard 200. In support of the album, they embarked on their 6th world tour, named the This Is For World Tour, which featured a unique 360-degree stage setup to create a more immersive concert experience. The tour achieved significant success, and to date, is one of their highest-grossing tours, with them achieving the best-selling K-pop arena tour in the Oceania region and setting a new record for the highest concert attendance in North America by a K-pop girl group. During the tour, TWICE performed at Lollapalooza Chicago, becoming the first K-pop girl group to headline at Lollapalooza. The performance was widely praised for its scale, and the girls' high energy throughout the whole performance. And for the first time, the trio performed Takedown live, and during their set, there was a K-pop Demon Hunters themed drone show in collaboration with Netflix, with one of the projections displaying the message, "The Hanmoon is sealed," a nod to the main character's mission of maintaining the seal between the human and the demon world with their music. In October, TWICE celebrated their 10th anniversary with their 5th Korean studio album, 10, The Story Goes On, a reference to their debut album, The Story Begins. The lead single, Me Plus You, talked about their long-lasting friendship and how they are grateful for each other, with the music video referencing their earlier MVs. The album included solo tracks for each member, which were extended versions of their solo stage songs performed in the This Is For World Tour, with each track being a completely different genre. It really was a love letter to Once, and to commemorate the journey shared with them over the past decade. But like any TWICE release, the album still performed extremely well, with it debuting at number 11 on the Billboard 200. Just a couple of days later, TWICE became the first K-pop group to perform at the Victoria's Secret fashion show, with members NAYEON, MOMO, JIHYO, and TZUYU attending. They commanded the VS Pink portion of the show, and their performance was a celebration of women's empowerment and individuality. One particularly emotional milestone came when TWICE finally held concerts in Taiwan, more specifically, TZUYU's hometown, for the first time in their career. For fans, and especially for TZUYU, the moment carried enormous significance, considering the hardships she had faced earlier in their career. So not only were they being positively welcomed by the whole country, but also being able to sell out their concert within minutes of going on sale, that an additional concert was added due to high demand. It was truly an emotional moment for both TWICE and Once, being able to see TZUYU thriving on stage and being truly happy. Additionally, towards the start of 2026, the group continued expanding globally and making history, with them becoming the first foreign artist to headline a concert at the Japan National Stadium. The 3 shows garnered a total audience of 240,000 attendees. That makes it the single largest attendance run in TWICE's 10-year career, further proving their influence and worldwide success. Finally, as of May 2026, TWICE won the award for Best Female K-pop Artist at the 2026 American Music Awards, becoming the first K-pop girl group to win an AMA, further cementing how normalized TWICE's presence in global pop spaces has become. 10 years of comebacks, records, milestones, and moments that helped define an entire generation of K-pop. From a survival show that was meant to save a company, to becoming one of the most successful girl groups in music history, TWICE's journey has been filled with achievements that few artists will ever match. And somehow, a decade after their debut, they are still finding new heights to reach. But if there's one thing this journey proved, it's that TWICE was never just about success, but immense growth as well. 9 young women, entering an industry known for constant change and uncertainty. But despite that, year after year, they chose to keep moving forward together. Because throughout this journey, everything had changed. Their music and concepts had changed, the industry had changed, the members themselves had changed as they grew older and faced many setbacks, criticism, pressure, and expectations that only grew heavier with time. Yet somehow, the one thing that never changed was TWICE. Not because they stayed the same, but because they evolved without losing the heart of who they were. Still unmistakably TWICE. And that may be their greatest achievement of all.